The following program is a presentation of Jez Sports. Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Main Event Podcast, back in our original format with the pretty red backgrounds that long-standing viewers of the show will recognise. I'm Jez, that's Dan, the current reigning, defending, dropping, undisputed prediction world champion.
Yeah.
How you doing?
I'm doing very well. How about you?
Yeah, all right. Busy, you know. December is in full swing, and Christmas shopping is not really happening because all the other stuff that has to happen. But we've made the decision to go back to this new format, which means less breaks. But I suppose that we wouldn't have, even if we'd have kept it in the old format, we wouldn't have really had much of a break. We'd have had this week and Christmas week, and that's it.
Yeah.
So, you know, other than this week, that's pretty much the same, isn't it? So,
yeah.
So I'll shut my mouth. But before I completely shut it, I will just take in a little sustenance.
So will I.
And let you know that this episode of the Main Event Podcast is sponsored by Goat Energy Drinks. Get yourself a case of their all-natural energy drink in original mango or in truly sexual cherry flavour at goatdrinks.co.uk, and make sure that you use the code JEZ10, not for me, oh no, for you, to get yourself 10% off and free shipping. That's it down there. He's got this pointing game down now, has Dan?
Yeah, boy!
Have you been practicing that all week?
Yes.
Is that right? Where was it? Oh yeah, there it is.
Yep. It's right there.
Let's do a pointing. Good job. Yes. Now, last week was the last week of the World Prediction Championship quarter. We have entered a new quarter now, and there has been 0 events predicted. So I'm happy to say that we are currently tied, Dan, and I'm standing a chance of winning this championship this quarter because we're both here on 0. I haven't got my pointing game down. You know, I was cupping the M instead of the 0 over there, but
see, I'm there.
Yeah, you know,
I'm there.
Yeah, it's because I'm looking. I don't know. I'm not going to make an excuse. It is what it is.
Don't make an excuse. You're just bad.
Now, the new format / old format. It's slightly new because when we started the Main Event Podcast, or rather, when I started the Main Event Podcast, it was to chat through the main roster shows of WWE, hence it was called the main roster at the time. And then you came and joined me, and then it was just the both of us talking about the main roster shows. We changed it up to talk about the premium live events, pay-per-views, main events, whatever you want to call them, from not just WWE, but all companies. And now we're kind of smushing the two together and talking about everything that we want to talk about in wrestling. All the news, all the results, all the rumours, all the belts, all that kind of stuff. So, we're transitioning through it. I'm probably going to give things a bit of a spruce up going into the new year. I mean, I've got to do something. I can't reach over to you, but maybe you can point. That N in the main event, that needs to need to get rid of the colour on that because that's the NXT 2.0. It's the same shape. We've just got to make it white instead of thing. And then the T, that's the Impact T. So so that I can change that to the TNA T. That's easy enough.
Change that to TNA.
Yeah. That's no
but,
issue.
However, won't be able to change it on this.
Nah, that's fine. That's fine.
Fine.
Doesn't matter. You know, we keep things fresh here on the Main Event Podcast. And you won't be able to tell on the belt anyway. Not unless we move to 4K, which probably not going to do. So
no,
that's far too much face on display if we move to 4K. So there you go. But what would be good in 4K is what we're about to talk about, and that is it's new belt day for you, Dan. You've got the
Yes.
the new old belt of the Prediction Championship, obviously, in
The
all its
baby.
glory. That would look great in 4K. But you've also
Yes,
been shopping, or rather, you went shopping a long time ago,
a
and
long time ago,
they
and
finally
turned
arrived.
up.
Yeah.
So we've got the undisputed WWE Universal Championship.
Nice.
Roman Reigns' current belt. Very nice.
I mean, that's not to be confused with the championship that I do hold. I don't have it with me, but that's the undisputed BCW World Championship. I'm the current champion there, and will be for a long time because they only have events like once every year and a half. So
well, there you go.
I'm going to become the longest reigning BCW champion very soon. It's going to be great. Back to you. What else have you got?
And then I've also got the new World Heavyweight Championship.
That's a nice one. I wasn't sure about
glory.
that when I first saw it, when they introduced it last year, but it's
Big.
definitely grown on me, and I love the thickness of it.
The detail on this belt is amazing.
Yeah, you can tell that one was Triple H's baby, can't you? You know,
Yes,
he loves
absolutely.
the big gold. And he said, I want to just bring back the big golds. And I think Vince at the time was like, well, no, it's got to have a great whopping W on it, obviously. So they compromised.
Yeah.
And that's what
and
we've got.
It looks amazing.
Yeah. Fair play. Well, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
I'm sure it will go up with all of the others. And doesn't it make your room cold having all those belts?
No.
All that metal. It's like living in a tin can, probably. I don't know. I'm just old and cold all the time. So there you go.
Yeah.
I'll just get my blanket and my bofrill. Okay. On to the news, rumours, and everything else of the week then. And this one is kind of a disappointment to us, really, because we thoroughly enjoy it.
Yeah.
News this week, WWE, Jey Uso, and I suppose Jimmy Uso to some extent, have been forced to abandon Jey Uso's YEET catchphrase.
Yeet?
He can't say yeet anymore. Well, he hasn't been able to ever say yeet, but they didn't know that until recently, apparently.
Yeah.
As reported by Cultaholic, and others I expect, but Cultaholic is where I read it, they realised that the term yeet was already copyrighted in the field of professional wrestling. Wouldn't have mattered if it was copyrighted in like movies or TV or whatever. But the fact that it's in the pro wrestling category of trademark means that there's a problem. By Casey Huffman, a pro wrestler based in West Virginia. He's held that trademark since 2021.
Right.
What do you think about this?
Well, I think it's a shame because now they've got to blur out Jey's t-shirt, which they did.
Yeah,
on Raw, which is a bit disappointing.
I wasn't paying full attention to Raw. I mostly listened to Raw as I was doing other things this week, so I didn't notice it. Was it Jey's t-shirt or was it in the crowd?
No, it's Jey's t-shirt when he came out with it's the white one with the yeet in blue.
Right.
He came out and it was blurred.
But it's a live show. Why didn't they just give him a different t-shirt? What?
I don't know.
Why would you go to the effort to blur something on a live show when you say, hang on, Jey, put this on instead?
I don't know.
Wear this sack. Whatever. Blurring a t-shirt on a live show. Honestly. It was live, wasn't it? We haven't had a random pre-recorded Raw for no reason.
I have no idea. Perhaps it was pre-recorded and that's how they managed to blur it so quickly.
I'm pretty sure it was live though, but yeah, weird.
No.
Yeah, I mean, there's one person that's definitely going to be happy in all of this.
It's Roman Reigns.
Roman Reigns. He's like, no yeet.
Roman Reigns.
Roman Reigns. No yeet. No yeet
No
at all.
yeet.
Yeah, it's disappointing, but, you know, they'll survive.
Yeah.
And it's probably not over. They've got a bunch of lawyers. They've got a bunch of money. And I'm sure poor checks notes. Casey Huffman is going to get raked over the coals until he decides to give that up, I would expect. Either that or they'll hand him a big, fat check.
Yeah.
Probably the former. They'd rather pay lawyers than him, so they'll just make his life difficult until he gives it up, I would expect.
Yeah.
Speaking of life being difficult and having to give it up, we had 2 bits of news over the course of the week. The first came on SmackDown last week when Logan Paul was in attendance with his US Championship and announced his very own tournament to crown a number 1 contender for that belt to face him, probably at Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Several competitors announced, the main one of which, who I picked to be an early winner, don't know about you, was Kevin Owens. But unfortunately, in a match on SmackDown, he managed to break his 4th and 5th metacarpal, which I believe is in his hand.
Yeah.
And he's likely, if not certainly, out of this tournament.
Yeah, it's a shame, isn't it?
It is. Did you expect him to be the winner from this?
Yeah, I think I was kind of expecting it from him, So I wasn't expecting Logan Paul to have a long run either as United States champion. So I was kind of expecting Kevin Owens to win it and then take the title off.
I think that this tournament is and was setting up for Logan Paul to retain it. I can see Logan Paul keeping the belt until WrestleMania and then probably dropping it at or shortly after WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Maybe at one of the many international shows that we're going to get in the spring. But yeah, I did really peg Kevin Owens as being the winner of this tournament, just to set up a cracking match. Like, this is a match that we definitely want to see. Logan Paul and Kevin Owens be very entertaining, because Kevin Owens always gives 110% and puts over people regardless of their ability. And obviously, as we've discussed before, Logan Paul has his own ability and probably doesn't need the help to be put over. So it was going to be good. Now we'll see who they slot in his place in the tournament and who wins it. But the rest of the competitors, apart from Karrion Kross, are all involved in their own particular rivalries anyway, and so are probably going to cost each other matches and further their own story rather than get to the end. But
I wouldn't be disappointed with Karrion Kross winning.
I wouldn't be disappointed with Karrion Kross winning. It's about time that they gave him something, but it just seems like he has been given up on thoroughly on the main roster, so I don't necessarily see it. He'd have a decent match with Logan Paul, but then it would be heel versus heel, so it's probably not going to be the answer. Dragon Lee's in the tournament, is he? If I remember rightly.
Can't remember.
I can't remember either, but if he's in it, he probably wins.
Yeah.
If not, toss a coin. Also on SmackDown, we had an appearance from Randy Orton, who, in the end, signed with SmackDown so that he could go back after the Bloodline. I mean, if you want to go after Roman Reigns, is signing with SmackDown what you want to do, or should he have just stayed on holiday or away? Because he's more likely to run into Roman Reigns at Costco than he is on SmackDown, if we're being honest about it. So will that decision pay off? We shall see.
Yeah.
And this Friday, CM Punk is visiting, where he will declare what brand he is going to be on next Monday on Raw.
Yeah.
So, thoughts on both? Randy Orton with SmackDown, where will CM Punk land?
Yeah, I think Randy Orton on SmackDown's a good idea. Get some star power on SmackDown, get SmackDown going. Great, I liked how they did the contract signing. Randy Orton just RKO's Nick Aldis. Why the hell not?
Yep.
Bring it on. CM Punk. Everyone knows, if you watch this regularly, we are CM Punk fans. I'm all for CM Punk, seeing more of him. Great.
Yeah,
all good in the hood.
Where do you think he will end up? Raw or SmackDown?
I think Raw.
I do as well. Yeah. there's too much tension, energy, potential between him and Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
And Drew McIntyre as well. You know, I can see Drew McIntyre being an early opponent leading to Seth Rollins down the line.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think Raw is where he will end up. But, you know, at least SmackDown will get some ratings this Friday.
Yep. Yeah.
As a result of that. You know, if they wanted to be really cheeky, they could have just kept him a free agent and them bouncing around the two.
Yeah.
But, who knows? Also, speaking about Raw next week, it does seem they're looking to stack it a little bit. But I have some pause about this. They have announced Cody Rhodes versus Shinsuke Nakamura for Raw next week.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a bit early?
Bit early. What, for those two to have at it? Yeah.
So, we've had Shinsuke Nakamura doing his cryptic message to, we didn't know who it was at the time for a very long time, at least a month, since he lost his World Championship match. And then all of a sudden it's like, bish, bash, bosh, let's do it on Raw. It doesn't matter that we've got, 2 big pay-per-views coming up in Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. And we're just going into it kind of knowing that Cody Rhodes is going to win.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm just a bit annoyed from a Shinsuke Nakamura point of view.
Yeah.
That if he's just going to lose another match, that they're just going to rush this through on Raw rather than actually give it the credence it deserves.
Yeah.
This was a Wrestle Kingdom main event, after all. These guys fought for the IWGP Championship. And it was a corker, a banger, as the kids say. So I'm slightly disappointed by it just being on a random episode of Raw, leading to Christmas when Raw ratings are at their worst because it's competing with Monday Night Football and competing with just life in general all the way through December. It just seems like a massive waste to me for their first meeting to be on Raw.
Yeah,
just a disappointment from me. Let's move on to NXT then. A few things happened on NXT this week.
Yeah.
The strangest one for me, and it seems to have come out of nowhere, Wesley came to the ring and announced that he had a back injury and that he will need some pretty serious surgery and is going to be out a year.
Out of deadline.
Maybe more, and out of deadline as well. Yeah. What do you think about this?
It must be quite serious. Do we know what the actual back injury is?
No. They've,
it must be quite serious then.
Normally, it's been the case with Kevin Owens and with others that we know before it's even announced that somebody's going to be pulling out of an event because of an injury. But they've kept the Wesley injury close to their chest. Yeah, feel sorry for the guy. He was on a major run. I think he was probably going to win back his belt. I say his belt. He's popularized it in the last couple of years, so that's why I call it his belt. But now we've got him and Dragon Lee. Dom and Dragon Lee.
Dragon Lee. Yeah.
What do you reckon to Dragon Lee's chances of walking out with the title?
Possible. I reckon they could they could have had the plan of Wesley taking it off Dom. Great. And obviously now Sam, they could just go, you know what? Dragon Lee could do with a title run. We'll just give it to him for a time being.
It is true that he could do with a title run. Obviously, he wasn't in NXT for very long, and I do believe he did get a shot at the NXT Championship, but it was a throwaway one if it was.
Yeah.
And so, it would make sense for him to have a North American title run, but I'm kind of done with main roster guys and girls winning championships in NXT.
Yeah.
There are plenty of people whom should be fighting it out. Even people who have been, completely demoted from the main roster to NXT, the likes of Dijak. Dijak needs a title run of some kind. North American seems to work there. Okay, he's not going to take it from Dom, fine, but
no,
considering they have Dragon Lee in such a prominent story at the moment as, you know, the leader of the Mexican Revolution, I suppose. Rey Mysterio's chosen guy, and now he's going to drop back down, potentially win a belt. So either he wins the belt, and then he's got to carry that around, come back to NXT and defend it and do extra work, and eventually lose it on NXT, cheapening his main roster appearance, or he loses the match with Dom, therefore cheapening his main roster appearance again. So there's really no win in this as far as I'm concerned.
No.
I felt like they should have had a tournament or a 6-man, or I don't know.
Yeah.
They could have just not had the match and given Dom the night off, you know?
Yeah. Dom.
Yeah. Good old Dom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you enjoying heel Dominic Mysterio?
I am.
I don't think we've really talked about it, despite, you know, his name coming up a few times on different events.
I am enjoying him. I know when he first came, we were so like,
oh, yes.
No, get him off and all that sort of thing. But now that he's gone heel, he's with the Judgment Day, he plays that heel character really well.
He's a very good heel. Very good.
Which he's very good, and I'm enjoying it. I'm loving it.
He's also vastly
Judgment Day.
He's also vastly improved his in-ring work as well. Let's get that right. That was part of our problem before, is that, okay, it was during COVID and he couldn't really go and train because they were using the Performance Center as everything in WWE. But since COVID, he has come in leaps and bounds and now puts on some really compelling matches. We're probably ending up with him and his dad again at WrestleMania, I would expect. I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. It depends when Ray gets cleared.
Yeah.
He's had surgery, didn't he?
Yeah, and that's another, you know, surgery we don't know a whole lot about, because that came out of nowhere. They were still content to have Santos Escobar beat up on his knee, even if it was legitimately injured. So I think it's probably more a clean-up surgery, like clearing out extra bone and arthritis-y type stuff, because he's getting on a bit, is Ray.
He is getting on, yeah.
Who knows? That information is probably out there. Maybe we'll find it for next time.
Yeah.
Also on NXT, and I did tease you as we were in our pre-stream chat about something that annoyed me. This has slightly annoyed me. It's not the main thing that's annoyed me. Nikita Lyons returned on NXT.
Yeah.
I'm slightly annoyed by that. Can you tell me why?
I don't know why.
Why is she returning on a random, pointless episode of NXT rather than at Deadline, which was literally days away?
Got a point there.
Yeah. Who books this crap? And
Shawn Michaels.
And I'm really not digging Shawn Michaels as a booker. I'm sorry. I love Shawn Michaels. I think he's one of the greatest of all time, but I don't think creative is the role for him. I really don't. I'm sure he's great at training the stars of tomorrow, but in terms of putting together their television program, NXT is struggling, and you've got to look at the top for that.
Yeah.
The thing that really did my head in on NXT, I was slightly irked already by the fact that they basically copy-pasted the same segments for the men and the women as pertains to the Iron Survivor challenge. They were like, all right, let's get the last person in, and then they'll all have a fight, won't they? They'll all have a fight, and then they'll go to the back, and then they'll come back out again and have another fight. Yeah, because, you know, if one group's going to do it, equality, both groups have got to do it, haven't they? So, yeah. I'm like, okay, that was not very good booking, but tolerable. What really wound me up, between them announcing the fifth member by virtue of that last chance thing, went backstage, Trick Williams had a nice, lovely chat with Carmelo Hayes.
Yeah.
So he went from fighting, chatting to Carmelo Hayes, and then they had him back in the fight again with the other four people, as if he'd been fighting the entire time. It's like, they've been fighting this entire time. You know, we haven't been able to separate them. It's like, no, we literally saw Trick Williams fine and chatting to Carmelo Hayes.
Yeah.
So, like, there's no consistency. They're not thinking. There's no planning from a long-term perspective.
No.
It feels like these shows are just thrown together at the last moment, and it's like, guys, you've got so much time. You've got so much time. You do 2 hours a week. The rest of the time, you're literally preparing for that 2 hours of television. Could you just write something down, have a think, like test this on some people, and say, does this make sense? No, it doesn't make sense. Why would he just like exit a fight and then just get back? Oh yeah, I forgot I was doing that. See you later, Carmelo. I forgot I was in the middle of a fight. Damn. Poor forgetful
See you later,
me.
Caramello.
Yeah, so forgetful. Yeah, so that wound me up. I'm just like,
Okay.
Come on, guys. I want to believe. Like Fox Mulder, I truly want to believe. No, I don't want to believe. No.
Or do you want to believe in Hendry?
I do want to believe in Joe Hendry. Not often we get to pull that out now, so that was a nice little segue. Yeah. Good segue. I enjoyed that. Right.
As you can tell here on the Main Event podcast, we do like Joe Hendry.
We do like Joe Hendry, yeah. Mainly because he makes up cool songs and
I know.
And looks dead into the camera as he does very joyous things. Like, look how dead he looks into the camera for this Joya thing. Joya! He's like...
And he does it for his clap as well, the Joe Hendry thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's his thing, isn't it? It like he turns away from hard camera and then turns into hard camera with a smile on his microphone when he does the entrance. Yeah, Joe Hendry's great. Just put the world title on Joe Hendry, or PCO. Just have Joe Hendry and PCO, like hot potato, the Impact / TNA World Championship back and forth for the entire 2024. I'll be happy. He'll be happy. Everyone will be happy. On that note, I don't think we'll have any other way of segueing into Impact Final Resolution.
No.
Shall we chat through the card for Impact Final Resolution? It takes place on Saturday, same day as NXT Deadline, probably at the same time, actually. They're both going off. I'll just check that. Yes, December 9th from Mississauga, Ontario, Canada.
Okay.
Yes. Well, I can give you some Wikipedia information on Mississauga, if I am saying that right, if you'd like. Historically known as Toronto Township, it's a Canadian city in the province of Ontario, situated on the western shore of Lake Ontario in the regional municipality of Peel, adjoining the western border of Toronto. Have a guess at the population of Mississauga.
I don't know. Let's go for 1 million.
I mean, if we're talking millions, you are closer than not. It's under 1 million. 717,961.
Oh.
As of 2021, you know. There's probably been a baby born in that time and some old person's bit of the dust. But other than that, that's the population. So they'll probably call it Toronto when they're there. Yeah. Fine. Yes. 8 matches, one of which is on the pre-show. Frankie Kazarian versus Sheldon Dean. Yeah, that's happening.
Great.
Fine. I haven't watched Impact in a few weeks, I'll be honest.
Neither have I.
It lost my interest a little bit, and I'm sure it'll get it back as we move into TNA land again in January. But looking at this card, I don't feel like I've missed a whole lot. And let's just say I'm glad that we won't have to talk about the entire show because of our new format. I don't know which of these is the main event.
I don't know either. I'm just looking at them.
It's probably the tag team match that we're going to talk about next because it has the world champion in it. Yeah. And it's got, a big international guy. So let's just get to it. The Motor City Machine Guns, Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin, who, as far as I know, are still the Impact World Champion and Impact X Division Champion, respectively.
I presume.
Yeah. Again, who knows? They're taking on Josh Alexander and Zack Sabre Jr.
Right.
And yeah, okay. I mean, it'll be a good match.
Yeah.
Would I have rather seeing Zack Sabre Jr. in, a singles match with someone? Definitely.
Yeah.
Do I want to see the World Champion and X Division Champion in a tag team match rather than in title defenses on a live event? No, I don't. I'd like to see the title matches, actually. So the whole concept is pretty irksome.
Well, I mean, a couple of these we could probably get rid of and replace it with, couldn't we?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So let's just blast through it. The only singles championship match of the night, Impact Digital Media Championship, Tommy Dreamer versus Dina. Okay, fine. There'll be weapons. Fine. That'll probably be the match of the night, which is sad because Tommy Dreamer can't really move, but it'll still probably be the match of the night.
Yeah. Jake
Something versus Jason Hotch.
Fine.
Jason Hotch doesn't even have a Wikipedia page. And
it says it all.
And, presented without comment. No, presented without comment. Mike Bailey versus Trey Miguel. Be a good match. Could have been for the X Division Championship. Why hasn't Mike Bailey won the X Division title yet?
Well, he has.
Oh yeah, he didn't hold it for long though, did he?
No, I think he needs another go at it.
Yeah, I think he needs another run, mainly so that there will be title matches on pay-per-views. Rhino versus Moose. I mean, I'm only glad that that's there because I get to push this button.
Yeah. God, that was an old Impact belt he had on it.
Yeah, the Impact Grand Championship. That was.
Yeah.
This will be a match that happened, I would expect. Yeah. And then we have Trinity and Jordan Grace versus Deonna Purrazzo and Giselle Shaw.
So we've got another singles champion in a tag team match.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, it's a good question. And I think they like doing the strange bedfellows thing. Obviously, Jordan Grace has got the match with Trinity at Hard to Kill.
Yeah.
But
this very much feels like they're spinning their wheels until it turns into TNA.
It does, doesn't it? And I don't like that because this should be the time now that you've got a bit of buzz because you've announced you're changing it back. Present company accepted. You'll have people coming back and actually watching Impact for a few weeks to try and get back into the product, and then you're presenting them with filler material. I'm not a fan of that. And then the final match, but I doubt will be the main event. Actually, this could be a good match. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense, and I don't know what's happened with Moose and Brian Myers.
I know what I'm picking.
ABC, which is Chris Bay and Ace Austin, taking on Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers for the Impact World Tag Team Championship. It's quite a weird team, Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers.
It's literally like they've gone, right, you're not doing anything, and you're not doing anything because your tag team partner's doing something, so we'll just put you two together for this.
But why is Moose doing the thing with Rhino?
I don't know.
Well,
I mean, we haven't watched Impact, so it might explain it all.
It might explain it, yeah. Oh, hello, Matt. I didn't see you enter in ages ago. Been chatting along there on Facebook. Sorry to ignore you. Facebook's over there, and I'm not paying attention to it. My apologies. Yeah. Not excited about this event. Are you?
No, not at all.
Right.
Nope.
Well, let's close out this show then, chatting through NXT Deadline.
Great.
Hopefully, that will be a little bit better. Although, remember what I said about Shawn Michaels' booking earlier.
Yeah.
So we know what the main event's going to be. We'll get to that. in pardon me, in no particular order otherwise, on the pre-show, we have Axiom versus Nathan Fraser, picking up where they left off when the pointless brawl interrupted their match on NXT this week.
Yeah.
We've seen this rivalry before.
Yeah. It's not really a rivalry, though, is it?
No, because they're like, and we'll shake hands afterwards. I'm like, oh, okay. Can't you do a winner gets to punch the other in the face instead of shake hands match or literally anything? Yeah. It's a filler match because they just want these guys on TV, but not enough to, give them championship matches or put championships on them.
Have Axiom slap Nathan Fraser in the face, and then Axiom will basically turn from a superhero to like an anti-hero.
Axiom being a heel would be good. Yeah. I'm not sure how over he is anyway, so turning him heel would probably be good. I mean, I think Nathan Fraser is trying to be edgy and edge towards that heel a little bit while maintaining his babyface status, and it's not really working for him. What do you feel about the hard-hitting home truths? Yeah, I think your horse gave its opinion then, but I think your horse was spot on. Yeah. That's kind of how I feel about it. This is a filler match, and whatever. Yeah. Next, the Men's Iron Survivor Challenge, number one contendership for the NXT title. Dijak versus Trick Williams versus Josh Briggs versus Bron Breakker versus Tyler Bate. Star-studded and Josh Briggs. I enjoyed the Iron Survivor last year. Yeah. Kind of looking forward to this one.
Yeah, this one I'm kind of like, okay.
I'm not sure we'll get any Grayson Waller trying to break his leg jumping through a ladder type shenanigans in this one. I think it could end up being a bit more traditional. That said, I feel like Josh Briggs is going to bring a little extra into this match to really establish himself amongst all of the other main event guys. So he could bring some weapons in. Tyler Bate has gone full hippie, and I'm a bit confused by that. So I don't know what he's going to do. And Dijak is Dijak.
Dijak.
Yeah. I'm not going to force you into a prediction now, but a few days in, without really thinking about it too much, who is your current favourite to win, do you think? It's hard, isn't it? I think personally I'm leaning towards Trick Williams.
That's what I was just staring at Trick Williams' name actually, just like, is it to go with Trick Williams?
The only thing
going to push him.
Well, the only thing that gives me pause about it is, there's got to be some point where they do finally reveal that it was Carmelo Hayes. Yeah. And at which point Carmelo Hayes will probably cost him whatever he's doing at the time to his face rather than behind his back. Yeah. So it could happen in this match. Seems like a good time to do it. If it should be on the nose, it will be on the nose. You can guarantee with NXT booking right now. So I want to say Trick, but maybe not. Yeah. So I'm going to think about it more. But if I had to pick right now, I would probably say Bron Breakker.
Yeah.
It's hard. Tune in next week to see who we did predict. And we will send our predictions to the independent adjudicator over the course of the weekend. Well, it's got to be early, hasn't it? Because it's Saturday night. But sometime on Saturday, we'll send our picks in. Not only for the men's Iron Survivor, but for the women's Iron Survivor Challenge. Tiffany Stratton versus Lash Legend. Got loads of tongue twister names in NXT. Versus Blair Davenport versus Kalani Jordan versus Fallon Henley. Got a pick for this one? A too early pick for this one?
No, I haven't really. I am kind of leaning though towards Fallon Henley.
Yeah, I think Fallon Henley's a good candidate for it. She's on that cusp. And we could probably see her getting a shot at the title at some point soon. Yeah. Could be via this or not. Likewise, Kalani Jordan.
Yeah.
I feel like she's owed something for the fact that they didn't have her win the breakout tournament.
Yeah.
When she clearly should have, because Lola Vice is terrible. Yeah, so maybe her. I don't think Tiffany Stratton wins because she doesn't need it, frankly.
No.
Unless they just want to put another accolade on her on what will probably be her last few months in NXT before moving up to the main roster. She strikes me as one of those, Raw after WrestleMania or SmackDown after WrestleMania type appearances. But yeah, who knows? More thought, but could be any of them really, except for Lash Legend. I don't think Lash Legend's winning.
No.
Watch Tamsin, good to see you. Hope your Thursday evening is going well. We'll skip the next one and come back to it because that's clearly the main event.
Mm-hmm.
Dirty Dominic Mysterio versus Dragon Lee for the NXT North American Championship. We've chatted about this one already. Any further thoughts on it before we move through?
Not really. Kind of feel the same.
Yeah. He could win. Dragon Lee.
He could win.
He could not. Those are the options. He's got a 50-50 chance.
Yeah.
A steel cage match.
Yeah.
Roxanne Perez versus Kiana James.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's happening.
Yeah.
And then
anyway,
a final singles match before the main event. Carmelo Hayes versus Lexis King.
Why are we demoting Carmelo Hayes to this?
Well, because he's got to reach the lows of obscurity as a reason for why he turned on Trick Williams, hasn't he? So, what says my career is in the toilet more than facing Lexis King?
Yeah.
So
that's very true.
It kind of makes sense. I did enjoy Lexis King's promo on NXT this week more than I have at any other point. So there's that. Maybe the guy's improving.
Yeah. Maybe not.
We'll see what he looks like in the ring on Saturday. But yeah, the less said about that going into it, the better. But the main event, and I am looking forward to this.
Yes.
I could quite happily just skip through the rest and go to the main event, I would say.
Yeah.
NXT Championship. Ilya Dragunov versus Baron Corbin. Do they have the balls to finally give Baron Corbin a world championship?
I don't think so.
I don't either. I hope so.
Yeah. I would be very up for it.
I would be very up for it as well.
But I think Ilya Dragunov is going to have a very long title reign.
Yeah, it's another one of those who will take it from him.
Yeah.
And I do wonder if Ilya Dragunov was a transition just to take the belt away from Carmelo, and we could get Baron Corbin winning it. He so deserves it, honestly. He's been working his ass off in WWE for a very long time, and I think that he is doing some of his best work in NXT at the moment.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Give him a little reign, bring him back up to the main roster. Yeah, it won't happen though. No. I can see me putting a little tick next to Ilya Dragunov when I put my predictions in, but I could go crazy, do a bit of the whimsy,
go wild.
We'll have to find out what I pick next week. Do you remember what we're currently on in the prediction standings? Can you remember?
Remember
your score at least?
I think I'm on 0 and you're on 0.
Oh yeah, that's it.
That's it.
Oh yeah. We haven't predicted anything this quarter yet, have we? Yeah, that makes sense then, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, never mind, because by the time we are back next week, hopefully anyway, we'll each have some points, because there's 2 events this weekend that we've just talked about that we will be predicting. So we'll get into all of that on the Main Event podcast next week, all the results from that show. I think we'll probably be having a little chat about some World Tag League stuff in New Japan Pro Wrestling as well, as that starts to come to a close, because one topic that didn't make the cut for this show because I had to cut it for time, but I'll let you mull it over for a week, Dan. Mm-hmm. Next week, I want to talk about the Gates of Agony joining the House of Torture.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's, there's a bit of juicy discussion to be had from that, I think. Yeah.
Also, have you seen the other thing about Okada?
No.
How his contract with New Japan Pro Wrestling is ending in January, and he has not signed a new one.
Oh.
And he is contemplating other companies.
Oh. I mean, I don't think AEW will sign him because poor Bryan Danielson will die. You know, he can't have a match with Okada without something breaking or falling off. So, Could you see Okada going to WWE?
No,
nor me. Okay. Well, there's 2 topics for next week.
Topics to discuss.
So that and 2 events to talk about, plus any other news that crops up between now and then.
Yeah.
I'll probably have a rant about something that happened on Raw.
You usually do.
I usually do. It's true. Yeah. Especially when we're specifically talking about things that happened on Raw.
Yeah.
It's what can happen now. Now that we're back to the new old format on the Main Event podcast.
New old.
We'll see you next week. I've been Jez.
I've been Dan.
You enjoy NXT Deadline and, if you can, Impact Final Resolution as well. Yeah. This show has been sponsored by Go Energy Drinks. Jez 10 in the corner. Go get yourself some. Bye, everyone.
Bye.